Good afternoon, curling fans, and welcome inside the Pittsburgh Curling Club into the Ryan Fissella Memorial Party Spiel. This is draw number 6 of the Party Spiel. On a little bit of an accelerated schedule this weekend as the snow is moving in tomorrow, so the 2 draws from tomorrow moved up to today, so draw number 6 here, and then the semifinals and the finals of the Spiel will also be this evening. My name's Trevor Matthew, and I'll be with you here throughout the action with our 2 teams today from the Pittsburgh Curling Club and the Mayfield Curling Club. Mayfield won the coin toss and elected to take the hammer and will be throwing the yellow stones, and our team from Pittsburgh throwing red. Team Pittsburgh is skipped by Aaron McManus. Doug Williams is vice, Patrick Backman second, and Sarah Masciola is lead. And for Team Mayfield, Christine Newdeck at skip, Kat Dubkowski at vice, Catherine Patoma second, and Ann Miller throwing lead. Draw to the center from Patrick Backman, their second. And this one's going to come up a little short, tap their guard forward. So building a row of center guards there for Pittsburgh. Looks like Mayfield is going to be content to just play that middle. Very cold weekend here in Pittsburgh. It's about 10 degrees outside and only about 31, 32 degrees inside the ice shed, so the ice is a little slow to start out in the first end of each one of these draws as things warm up and come up to speed. So Mayfield gets a stone into the top 12 foot. And now almost switching a little bit here. Pittsburgh electing to play to the outside. And that's going to allow Mayfield to throw another one and try to beat Pittsburgh in that race to the middle. And able to take that one right around there, and so now yellow will sit 2. One just biting and tap the other one up into the 8 foot. And so now Pittsburgh going back to the middle. Try to be the ones to win that race to the button. And they'll just bounce off. They'll sit second shot for now, but wide open, and see the Mayfield skip there, tapping the broom for the hit and roll to the middle. This one curling. They're going to not be able to hold that, as it's going to miss by almost a full rock. And skip Aaron McManus saying, let's try this draw one more time. This one curling. It does not have the weight or the line to get there, but does guard their second shot rock for the moment. And another light and over-curled stone here. Both teams just struggling a little bit to find the speed on these draws here in the first end. Quite a bit of discussion here between Aaron and her skip or her vice Doug, I think, trying to decide exactly what shot they want to try and pull off here. It does look like they're going for the draw still. This one narrow all the way. Never got quite out to the broom there on the slide. Had the weight, but just a bit inside and crashes on the guards, although it does really plug up the hole there for Mayfield to have much of a chance to get any other stones in and around all that. And looks like Christine and her vice cat there having that exact discussion of how do we get around the wall here and try to outcount that second red and try to get 2 here. Throwing a very wide draw here, and this will be the first stone at the end to have gone down this side of the ice, especially this wide, so we'll see if she can find the weight here. Taking it around, sweep and sweep and sweep, and they're going to get it in the house, but not going to curl around there near enough to get second shot. Does leave themselves an opportunity, though, potentially to hit and roll off that if they need to for second shot. Certainly they could hit off that and roll over into the back of the forefoot. And so now it looks like the Pittsburgh team's going to try and see what they can do to get either around there or block that shot as well and try to ensure the force of 1. So here we go, last rock of the first end from Aaron McManus. Waiting for it to curl. Looks like they're actually just going for the straight takeout here. And they're going to make it. Where do they roll? Can they roll for shot stone? Not quite. So they sit 2-3. But with the position of those stones, the question is, how does Mayfield possibly get 2 out of this? Looks like the discussion is a heavyweight draw, try to sneak just around those guards and come in on top of that red. So here we go. What does Christine Newdeck have? Actually, I guess they're just throwing it away. So the vice was lined up over there like they were making a shot call, but they're actually just throwing this one away and taking their 1. So a force of 1 here in the first end. Now, because of the condensed bond spiel here due to the weather, this is a 6-end game. So teams are given 60 minutes to play 4 ends. And they must deliver the final stone of the 4th end before that timer goes off to play their full 6 ends. If they don't make it in time, they just play the extra 5th end and they are done. And to start out the 2nd end, our team from Mayfield has their lead Ann Miller throw one right to the top 4 foot. Wanted a draw there, but a heavy and wide. And sails right on through the house, and Mayfield now going to guard their shot stone. Sweepers on this almost immediately out of the hand there. That looked light, and it is curling hard. Certainly not going to end up in line with the stone. Does make it over and into a 2 guard. That will leave the shot stone exposed, and you see they skip their air, and McManus point to the corner of the stone, and then say we're going to roll over here, so a hit and roll attempt on the way. This does not look like it has the weight to be a hit and roll, more of a draw certainly. And now the question is, can they make it around the guard and have the weight to settle in for the draw? They do clear the guard. Now where's it going to stop? Back 4, back 8, back 12. And escorted right out to the back of the house. Kind of caught in between there, called the hit and roll, and got a sort of halfway in between shot. So the draw wasn't able to hold on and sit around either. And now Mayfield going to elect to come around to their high guard and sit 2. And this one's sailing as well. It's going to go out all by itself. And this has been the case so far with this Spiel most of the weekend. Maybe a little slow in the first end as the ice heats up, because it is so cold outside and cold in the building. But once the ice heats up, plenty of speed there. And, several teams so far you can see just struggling as the ice speeds up to slow themselves down and throw those draws and those guards when they need them. We do have 2 streams going on, of course, so this is our feature sheet game. We do have a second stream showing the action on sheets A, C, and D. If you're just joining us, again, this Bonspiel has been condensed down due to some severe weather coming into the area tomorrow. So this is the last of the round-robin games. And the semifinals and finals will both be held this evening. We'll have our semifinals at 6:45. And teams will head right back out at 9 o'clock to see who will be the champion. course, the party Spiel here at the Pittsburgh Curling Club is a little bit more about social and fun than it is competition. So everybody out there playing hard and wants to win, but also having fun and socializing. Celebrating the life and the curling of Ryan Fissella. And Pittsburgh, for the moment, sits shot stone. But a takeout on the way here. Waiting for it to curl, waiting for it to curl around the guard, right to the nose. And Mayfield now lying to. And Pittsburgh now going to try this hit. Sweeping hard around the guard, just off the corner of the Yellowstone there, and that's pretty well done. They won't quite sit shot, but do a good job of setting themselves up to have a chance here in this end, put something together. Sweeper's not touching this one at all. The old Star Wars Force handout saying, please slow down. And now Pittsburgh electing to throw another draw here. Squeeze another one right around here and get shot underneath their own stone. Now that's a tight ask. And this one, I think, actually is going to serve them even better if it bumps into that yellow and moves it, but it just doesn't quite get there. So, again, kind of caught in between shots there. Wanted the draw, threw a little bit more of the tap, but didn't have the line called for that. And so they do sit 1 and 3. But, of course, the shooter rolling right out into the open. And Christine Newdeck here, happy to try to send that rock out. Hit on the way here. Looking good, although this is a little light and curling hard. They are able to hold it, and they'll make contact. Now we'll see how aggressive Pittsburgh chooses to be here. Certainly if they want the big end, they're going to try to get that yellow out of the way as it's out counting their current stone. But it looks like they're going to save that and see if that's going to be their possibility with their last shot. And try the draw under the guard here. Sweepers on this one all the way. Does it have the weight to get there? Really need to be shot stone here. It has the weight. Now did they get it under the guard? Yes, they did. That is very well done. Well thrown and well swept there. A great judge by the sweepers on where that was headed. And now Mayfield, who was in control for most of this end, really needs to make a pretty precise shot here or risk giving up 3. Sweepers not touching this one at all. And this rock must be second shot when it comes to rest, and it is slowing down very nicely. And pretty sure that's going to take the 3 out of play, so just going to have to tap that right on the nose, move it a foot, and take your 2 here. Actually, as you can see here, don't even need to move it. Sitting 1 already, so just need to get your rock fully in the 4-foot for 2. So here we go. She just threw this exact same shot. Can she find it again? And this to curl. Now, you don't want to overcook this. You don't really want to tap into your own. And this is light now and over curled. Are they gonna stay around enough? That is close. Looks like it's too red from here, but our camera not dead over the center, so hard to know for sure. We'll see if they can come to an agreement, if they want to measure this. It's at least 1. So Pittsburgh has, at a minimum, managed to tie this game up. So they moved the Yellowstone away. I'm not sure if they've agreed that that was too red. We'll have to just wait and see if someone hangs the score here. And a very nicely thrown tight center guard there. Sarah just a first-year curler here at the Pittsburgh Curling Club, but picking up this sport incredibly quickly. And Mayfield content to play to the middle here. So the score's been hung, and it looks like they agreed it was just one red. So a 1-1 tie here in the third end. Again, this is just a 6-end game. This Spiel has been condensed down due to weather coming into the area tomorrow and some teams wanting to try to get things done and get out of town. They sneak just around their guard here, make contact with the yellow, and they will take it out. Well executed shot there. So two great shots from the lead for Team Pittsburgh. A lead at any level of curling that can throw well makes a difference, but especially at this level, if you are set up for success by a great lead from the start of an end at club level curling, you have a much, much better chance at putting together a big end for yourself. Mayfield plays right back to the middle. And looks like Erin McManus calling for another chase. This from Patrick Backman, her second. Another brand new curler here who has just really jumped right in and is trying to learn everything about this sport he can. This one sailing out there on him, though. And taps their own stone out of play. And Mayfield going to just ignore that stone there in the back eight and say, let's put some more right down the middle. Of course, in competitive curling, in 8-end games at things like the Grand Slams, they've adopted the one blank end rule. So we'd seen a switch over the last couple years of teams playing more to the middle and setting ends up more like doubles. But now with the no blank end rule, teams being a little more aggressive. And we've started to see things spread back out with more corner guards and teams taking a little more risks. And so we'll see if that rule catches on enough to become fully adopted and filter its way down into the curling clubs, but no such rule in effect so far, and so teams still very happy to play to the middle whether they have hammer or not. And so Mayfield sits a very lonely shot stone at the moment. And it seemed like Erin was caught a little bit in between on what shot she wanted to call here. Looks like just another draw on top of their own, but this wide and heavy, so sweeping for curl, but this needs to slow down. And so failing to make contact with anything. And now leaves Mayfield a chance to turn this end right back around in their favor. Try to just kick this redstone out and sit 2. And they will. What a shot. Makes the hit, does not disturb their shot stone, and punches the redstone into itself and knocks one out. So Mayfield now sitting 1-2-4. With a chance to put something together. And we'll stay on the view here as this stone comes into the house. A hit from Doug Williams on the way. Jams, rolls out, and leaves Mayfield sitting 3. It's a guard call here. On the second vice stone from Cap Dubkowski. This stone sweeper is not on it at all, now on it late. And it will end up coming all the way down into the house and sitting top 8 foot. Actually in a pretty good spot. Half buried under that guard, almost fully buried under the guard. And so I believe Aaron McManus now going to try to draw right on top into that pocket and end a chance at a big end here. Not really having an option to throw a hit. This is a delicate shot, though. Not a lot of room for error. Sweeping to curl. Got to get right into that pocket. It's not going to do that. All the way around to the back Yellowstone. Now it does take that out and sits third shot for the time being. And we'll see if Mayfield elects to try to go after that to bring a 4 or 5 into play. But it looks like they're leaving it for now. So here we go, trying to be a little lighter on this one and just guard or sit one top 12, top 8. Waiting for this one to curl and dig its teeth in. But it does not want to do it. And heads all the way down, touching the forefoot. And so leaves really lots of options here for Aaron McManus now to cut things down. So Aaron looking to come in here, make a hit. Gonna have several options. Really can go 1, 2, 3. And we'll see the stone on the way here. We'll stay on the house view and watch what comes in. This is way wide out of her hand. Sweeping to curl all the way, and we'll see as it comes in here. It is headed right on by. And so an unfortunate, sort of unforced error there. If you take minimal ice and just make contact with anything, you're going to at least cut down the scoring opportunity. And now Christine Nudek going to have a shot for a big end. Does not look like they're going to try to hit this with enough weight to push it into the back red and get their 5, but just the draw for 4 here. And they'll just need full 8 foot. Sweepers on this all the way. Can they get there? Can they get there? Sweeping hard still all the way. Gotta get a bite of the 8, and they do. Excellent work on that right out of the way. They knew they needed to go. Got it by a foot. And a score of 4 for We're the Millers. And when you're just playing a 6-end game, giving up a 4 can be pretty tough to come back from. And Mayfield, of course, electing to play right into the house to make that comeback as difficult as possible. So we'll see what the strategy is here from our Pittsburgh team. A couple options when you're down now and need to put an end together. You could freeze right to that and try to just play the angles game and set things up. Or you just ignore it, throw a corner guard to the other side and try to set up an end of your own. But this stone here, heavy, 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 and is going to be all the way through the house on its own. And Mayfield taking the pile 'em up approach. stack stones in the forefoot. And that can be tough to deal with when you're playing club level curling here, especially with a Pittsburgh team that the lead and second are first-year curlers. You'll see the pros ignore those rocks all the time because they can make doubles and triples and run backs and everything they need to do to clean things up at the end, but a little harder for us mere amateurs. And so you see there Aaron McManus realizing that and saying, well, we can't really let them pile up 4 rocks here, 5 rocks here, because we're never going to be able to get them out. So starts the hit right now. And is able to remove one. Doesn't quite get in front of the yellow, though, so that's going to allow Mayfield to go right after it. Now, this is already curling hard. This is going to need swept just for a piece. This may even just completely miss, and it will. So it looks like Pittsburgh here electing to play around under their own stone. Now this is going to tap, which I think is honestly the best thing that could have happened there for Pittsburgh. If you get right under your own stone there, I think you were going to leave a double all day long. Whereas now, if you can get a miss from Mayfield, you've set up for a big end potentially and try to start a comeback. And interesting, Mayfield actually electing to leave the red stone alone, not calling a hit, just trying to freeze right on top of it. And they do. And that is certainly one way to limit the opponent's scoring opportunities. If you're not feeling the hit, or maybe you just don't have it that day, those freezes can be just as deadly. And so now Pittsburgh going to come in and try to just make a little tap on the yellow, and this actually on a nice line if they have the weight right. Sweeping hard to keep it on the corner of the yellow, and they do. And a nice shot there leaves Pittsburgh sitting 2. But under no cover right down the middle of the sheet. But again, it looks like the Mayfield team here content to throw a draw and just sit on those red stones. Just a little heavier, though. This is more like a hack board weight shot. And it's going to go right through the hole. Who would have even thought that was possible? Just seemed like they were caught in between there. I don't think the shooter and the sweepers were committed to throwing a lightweight shot there. It seemed like they had wanted the takeout. And sort of in between ice, in between weight. And a guard here from Doug Williams, very nicely thrown. So this time they seemed a little more decisive about throwing a hit. But sweeping it late, and this curling hard now. This light, and is going to tap on the red stone. And that'll leave Pittsburgh sitting 1-2-4. Now it does roll to a spot that's going to make it hard for Pittsburgh to bring that fourth stone into play. And so they'll try to throw another stone into the top 12 here. Hoping to curl this one a little bit more, I think, and just get fully onto the center line to take away any opportunity at a hit. And there it goes, perfectly executed stone there. And Pittsburgh certainly putting a little pressure on as Mayfield puts up the 4, but then a few missed shots, and Pittsburgh right back in this thing. And so now a draw. On the way here with the first skip stone from Christine Nudek. Got to make a shot here to cut down Pittsburgh's scoring opportunities. Sweepers waiting. Trying to get this to curl. And it's just floating on them a little bit. Very close, but just makes a tap off the corner and rolls to third shot. And I like this decision here from Erin McManus, having a talk there with her line caller, Patrick, saying, we don't actually want to come down to that yellow because we're just going to leave them a pocket to sit in and maybe even take shot away from us. So she wants to stop in the top 4 foot. So here we go, rock on the way. Sweeper's not touching this one as it is floating. It's trying to bite here as Doug Williams tries to curl it over here. Now it is going to come down to that yellow. And so, certainly not a horrible mistake there. It leaves you sitting 3 and forces Mayfield to make a shot. But as you can see here, it does leave a nice little pocket where Mayfield can just draw, take shot, and totally change this end. If she can find a way to put this on the button, you've taken a potential 3 or 4 and turned it into a steal. Taking pretty minimal ice here, knowing she's got the backing. You don't ever want to throw this light. Sweeper's on it. It's curling. It's curling. Gotta hold it into the pocket. And they do. And boy, oh boy, now you got a Yellowstone that is impossible to remove. And you're just throwing a draw here to the pin for 1. And that's curling for you. You set up a good end. You look like you have a bunch of counters there, but because they were all just behind the tee line, left that pocket for Mayfield to make the steal. And so Erin McManus now has to draw the pin. This looked wide out of her hand. And the sweepers agree, I think, trying to curl this thing over. It is out there and not coming back. And that is going to be a steal of 1. So 6-1 advantage for We're the Millers as we head in to the 5th end. If you've just joined us, this is just a 6-end game. Is Spiel condensed down for weather coming into the area here in Pittsburgh tomorrow? So moved everything up, playing the semifinals and the finals this evening. And so we've condensed some of these games down into 6 ends. And as they've done every end so far, Mayfield starts out by just playing right into the rings. And our team from Pittsburgh now really needing to put a big end together. And they'll start with a corner guard, although this one Curls all the way out to the edge of the 12-foot there, not particularly guarding anything. Maybe guarding a absolute sliver of the outside of the 12-foot there. And another stone in the rings from Mayfield. A little bit of a switch up here from Pittsburgh. Now going to play behind that yellow top 12 stone. This stone heavy, though, and going to go all the way back to the back yellow. And we'll make contact and send that out of the ring. So Pittsburgh lies 1. And just a draw here. On the way from Mayfield, Catherine Potoma, their second. But this stone floating and through. And so now we'll see what Pittsburgh can do. You got to find your way to at least 3 here. With only playing 6 ends, you got to be really down by no more than 2 going into that 6th end when you're trying to steal to win. And so Pittsburgh stone, here as we watch it come in, sees the same fate and heads right on out the back. And another stone right on through the house. The ice very quick here in this afternoon draw. Looking all across the ice house here, seems like teams struggling to throw it slow enough. We do have 2 feeds, of course, so you can see the actions from Sheet A and C over on our other stream if you're interested. Sheet D has already wrapped up. 7-0 victory in just 4 ends. And so we'll see here if Katumkowski can find the weight down to the 4-foot. Sweeper's not on this one at all either. But that's going to be just fine, and we'll go back, tap the red stone. And Mayfield will sit shot rock. device. Doug Williams with a draw on the way. Sweeping this one hard all the way down to that yellow stone. And they will sit shot rock right beside it. So you're happy to sit shot stone if you're Pittsburgh. The problem is more and more stones are just going to keep piled up in the middle here. And what is your opportunity to score the 3 or 4 points you need to stay in this thing going into the 6th? And another draw on the way here. And another stone piled up right down the middle. Now, if Pittsburgh's able to keep everything in a straight line, you know, there is enough room to get a couple more stones in there. But at this point, you're asking your team to throw perfection on every stone to get into that little gap. And so we'll see what we can do here as the sweepers bring this one in, and it is not going to get there. And now with that red stone there, Mayfield going to draw around again. Sweepers kind of jumped this one, but it's really going to float on him and sail down that fast path. All the way through, that was practically hack weight. Some discussion here. I'm not sure what the question is on the ice. So a draw here coming from Pittsburgh. Now again, there is space that they could sneak 2 more stones in there and score the 3 that they need. Now they're going to just make it around the guard. Now can they carve it over and let it settle down? And they cannot. needed just a touch less weight there. They had some space to work with around the guard. Now, my concern would be if I'm Mayfield. If Pittsburgh really needs to get aggressive and feels like they want it, is this run back here to just make that little chip and skip 4. And I think that's why they really are trying again to get one around here. Of course, it's an incredibly difficult shot, but, I mean, if you're Pittsburgh, 1 or 2, and you're probably handshaking, so I think you need to go for 4. And this stone might take that away. Boy, oh boy, is that close. It still might just be there. Hard to tell if that red stone's going to rub off that yellow that's beside it or not, if they can hit it at just the right angle. And it looks like they're going to decide to just draw for 2 here. Need to draw a full 4-foot. The sweeper's on this almost immediately out of the hand. They think it's light. It certainly seems like it's light. And that is not going to get there. And so that'll just be a score of 1. And as we head into the 6th end here, which will be the final end, the score 6-2 in favor of Mayfield. We'd like to take a moment to thank one of our title sponsors here of our 2025-2026 Bond Spiel season at the Pittsburgh Curling Club, the Pittsburgh Sports and Exhibition Authority. The Sports and Exhibition Authority, a great partner to all athletics here in the greater Pittsburgh region. Helping bring in and take care of our sports teams. And we're so thankful for their support of the Pittsburgh Curling Club. And so now up 6-2. Mayfield continuing the same strategy they've used every end, which is just play right into the rings. So now Pittsburgh, the tough task of stealing 4 just to tie, or 5 to win. Trying for the freeze here. Really delicate when you're in this position because you got to make the freeze dead. Any tap, anything like they're going to do here off to the side, and you got to figure Mayfield's just going to run them out of stones. Although this Mayfield team has not really been too fond of throwing hits for most of this game, and it seems like they're going to continue that strategy. They would rather just draw and pile things up in the forefoot. And sometimes that strategy can absolutely work. You know, you try the hits and you accidentally flash on one or two, and all of a sudden you're looking at giving up a really big end where if you know you have that draw to the forefoot down pat, which they have for most of this game, that's going to make it just as tough on a team to score a big end. And Mayfield lands right on top of their other stone. Now you got to figure if you're Pittsburgh here, you split the house knowing that Mayfield does not want to attempt to hit, and you've almost got to play this end like you have hammer. And they'll make a draw around here. And hit what appears to be second shot, and Mayfield going to draw right on top of it. Now this stone, they didn't really touch it, and it bit up on him just a little bit there. And so it'll settle just outside the rings. And now Pittsburgh going to draw underneath. Got to find a way to get at least 4 stones to score. Sweeper's just cleaning this one. It's curling a lot. A really late call here. This is going to overcurl and hit the guard. Not sure why they weren't touching that there. Really just left it alone, and then all of a sudden it was gone. So another draw call here from Mayfield. And again, another late sweep call. No sweep until they're 3/4 of the way down the sheet, and this is going to hit the guard and send Pittsburgh up in. And leave Pittsburgh sitting potentially shot stone there. Tough to tell. Might still be Mayfield by the tiniest little skosh, but certainly don't think Mayfield would be thrilled with that result of that shot. But again, Pittsburgh now really must pile all 4 of their stones here from their vice and their skip into the scoring area. And this one is not going to do it. Sweeper is bringing it across the hog line, and it's going to settle as just a 2-guard. And so another draw here from Mayfield. Now with some backing there in the back four. If they can just get one stone in here in a spot where it can't be removed, that will pretty much end things. Not touching this one. It's heavy, and it is through. So the door still open. And again, very hard to tell, but what's tricky about this situation is if they believe that Mayfield has shot stone, they can't just pile their next 3 in here and score. They've also got to get that Mayfield stone moved. Now, our camera is not dead over the house, but from that vantage point, it certainly does look like the Mayfield stone is shot rock. And I don't really know how you move it without jamming it onto the red behind it. And now certainly Pittsburgh shot stone with that rock. And the question now, Mayfield, who has really avoided hits for this entire game, I'm not sure they've thrown a hit for the last 2 ends, now have no choice. Now again, of course, still a long shot here, really, that Pittsburgh finds a path to steal 4, but they're at least putting a little pressure on the Mayfield team. Slid a little narrow, threw it wide, but it's not going to hold out there, and it's going to hit the yellow guard. Probably not the worst result, though, there if you're Mayfield. You're certainly happy to just get that out of the way so you have dead access to the middle. And again here, if you're Pittsburgh, you've got to move that Mayfield stone, and how do you do it? Now, they are not touching. So you could hit this top yellow stone. If it can come in this way, as this stone comes, because it's so close, this stone will also get drugged that way with the hit. And potentially, this yellow may just tap that red up closer. And that's a lot of ifs. And that's a lot of buts, but it's possible. Now, the other downside to that, though, is you got to throw a lot of weight to do that and get all 3 stones moving and get that drag. And I'm not sure that Aaron feels comfortable with that weight, so just throwing a what I guess is a guard here. Now you got to get that out of the way of those yellows. You need to be able to make contact with those. And without that stone making contact with the yellows or coming into the house, that just made things really difficult to see your path here. And I think what our team from Mayfield's talking about here is rather than risk Pittsburgh even being able to pull that off, do they throw the tap? Come in with less weight and just dead nose everything. And Pittsburgh wouldn't have a chance. But looks like they've gone back to their stock shot, which is this draw to the forefoot. Now this is just a guard. And so now what does Pittsburgh do? You really have no choice but to throw this hit and hope you get the drag effect. Now the problem with that even is that unless this yellow goes right through the hole, if it even touches one of those other two reds and takes it out, that ends things as well. But they're trying it. It's their only chance. It's on the way. Now you got to throw this heavy, and this is not a lot of weight. This is just a board weight takeout shot, so it's not going to move things really enough. And it hits the guard. And they really don't need to throw this stone at all. They're throwing it away. And that will end it. So a valiant effort there from Pittsburgh to try and mount the comeback, but not to be that 4-point end in the third, just too much to overcome. And I'm not sure what the discussion is here, but okay, looks like they've finally agreed that they didn't score enough, so the game is over. And that'll be a win for Mayfield. We're the Millers. Moving on to the semifinals that'll be coming up here at 6:45. These teams running the gauntlet today with this condensed Spiel. 6:45 semifinals, 9 p.m. finals, all available on our Pittsburgh Curling Club YouTube feed. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you again in just about an hour and 15 minutes for our semifinal draw. My name is Trevor Matthey. On behalf of the Pittsburgh Curling Club, thanks so much. Good curling.